you know, every woman once in their lifetime should shave their hair off.
Right.
Just to see.
Once.
Just once. Just to see. And people always are like, wait, whoa, that's a little far, Nadiyah. And I'm like, no, but seriously, like, if I never shaved my head and went through that experience of like having to find beauty within myself and actually think I'm beautiful,
Right.
without hair, without any of the extras, no wigs, no nothing, like really sit with myself in the mirror and look at it, I would be a completely different person. Like, I would not have the perspective that I have now.
Alrighty, what up, you guys? I'm Bryson Smith.
And I'm Javin, and this is
Etcetera.
Etcetera. Woo! Yeah, he's gonna talk. There it is. So, as you can see, we've changed our setup a little bit.
Definitely.
We're fully in the garage now. It looks nice.
Right.
And it's a little bit further for Bryson to reach the thing. So
I know,
let's
that's why it's kind of awkward. Yeah. But we got a guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself, her name, and kind of what she represents before we get into the meat of the conversation.
My name's Nadiyah. For people who don't know, it's phonetically spelled. It's Nadiyah. I don't know why people don't.
It sounds like my sister's name is Naya and Nada. So when you told me Nadiyah, I'm like, I can remember that. I should be able to remember that.
I for sure can remember that. But usually people are like, wait, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Nadiyah with an N, and they're like, okay, I got it.
What does Nadiyah mean? Does that have a meaning?
Yes, it's Swahili for announcer or caller.
Oh wow,
No way.
That's deep.
So I was actually named after my aunt who passed the year I was born.
Oh okay.
And everybody kind of tells me like I have her spirit. I'm funny. I'm goofy.
Right.
I'm loud. I can't sit down. So everybody's kind of like, yeah, you're a Nadiyah. You're for sure that. But yeah.
Okay. No, I do. There is something I really do want to talk about with you, and you had mentioned to me when we met the Pretty Girl Hot Box.
Yes.
Because you kind of went over it briefly.
Yes.
And it's a podcast that she's gonna start soon. That she's planning on starting, which I hope she does. But I wanted to know what kind of content exactly were you going to be having on that? Because if possible, I would, and I'm pretty sure Javin would.
Oh,
or is it just
absolutely.
for pretty girls or something?
No,
Like-
no, it's definitely like open conversation, and I've never like shied away from having like guys like sit and give their perspective because,
Right.
as a person who is in the business of self-improvement,
Okay.
I often value other people's opinion.
Right.
So, even though people are like, opinions are like assholes, everybody has them. I'm like, yeah, everybody does. But when, you're sitting and you're talking to people and you're trying to like connect with people, their opinion of you actually really does matter.
Right.
So, it's just honest conversations, like the high conversations that you have with
So
yourself.
we're going to be smoking.
Yeah, essentially. I mean,
That's dope.
if you don't smoke, then totally, that's fine.
Right.
I'm all for.
She's looking out for the little people.
Yeah.
Is it going to be in a car?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So some of them are going to be in the car. Some of them, they're going to be in different settings. So
A podcast in a car?
yes,
That's something I haven't heard of before.
Pretty Girl Hot Box.
I haven't heard
Pretty
that
Girl
before.
Hot Box. But when you sit down with your friends and you have like those uncomfortable but very necessary conversations.
That's almost like 50% of my conversation.
Exactly. So it's going to be those and its purpose. And I kind of like figured this out randomly yesterday. Its purpose is to help you find the answers to life.
Wow.
Like just little bits and pieces, but really like sit down, have a moment and like talk about something, whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's, okay, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what my sexuality is.
Right.
Those are conversations that people need to have in an open and very honest, safe space.
Right.
So I kind of want to facilitate that, whether it's for men, whether it's for women.
Okay.
Just have an open, honest conversation.
Well, I
And-
definitely want to be on there and talk about
yeah.
whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
I think
That's our bread and butter, right? Trying to have honest conversations as much as possible.
that's
So
why we kind of got this
doing
podcast
that in a car,
going.
Yeah.
that'd be fucking awesome, genuinely.
Yes.
So tell us more about yourself. What do you do, like, besides the podcast, which is, again, listen to it. Definitely listen to
listen
it.
to it. It's coming.
We might be
That's
on it,
what's up.
fingers crossed.
I want to
hope
be on.
so.
I hope we're cool enough.
No, definitely cool enough.
We'll see.
Definitely
This is
gonna
our
have you
trial
guys.
run, Bryce, and this is our
I know, right?
interview.
She's testing us.
Tell us about yourself. Like, what are your goals, aspirations? What do you do? What are your hobbies? Like, just tell us, reveal to the world
About Nadiyah.
You know what? I do a whole lot.
I like to hear that.
I do a whole lot. I'm a makeup artist. I'm a creative.
Right.
I'm a poet.
Wow.
I'm a
You do
painter.
poetry. You paint.
Yo.
I paint.
Okay.
What don't you do?
I
Jesus.
creative direct. I do everything. Like anything creative that I can get my hands on, I try to tackle it. Like
That's amazing.
I love a challenge. I love like doing something new,
Right.
something that I haven't personally thought of doing myself.
Right.
So like the podcast is completely an experiment. I'm telling you now.
You
Most
said experiment?
podcasts
Yeah,
are.
they are. Yeah, that's
It's 100% an experiment. It's 100% like a journey that I want to take myself on because again, like having conversations with people is not always easy.
it's not.
People aren't always going to like you. They're not always going to like what you have to say or what your opinion is. But again, opinions are like assholes. All of us have them. But when you're in, that area of like, you know what? I really want to grow. I
Right.
really want to learn something new. I really want to do something new.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Like I found that it's like really important for me to throw myself in fire essentially just all right, let's do it.
Right.
Grow from it, experience.
That's
it.
that, and that's good. That's important that you do that because a lot of people don't do that. They don't take risks. Essentially, that's what you're doing. And I feel like there's only a benefit to those because if you fail, it's like okay, but you can use those skills and what you learn to, put that energy into something else.
Yeah.
You mentioned poetry. You do poetry?
Yes.
I seen something on what was it? The Instagram stories. I was like, what? She does
Yes.
poetry?
I do. I actually kind of like found myself in this creative room yesterday. Again, a lot of things
Yesterday?
happened yesterday.
That's cool.
A lot of things happened yesterday. And I got on somebody's track for the first time, like played the beat. You know Ray, but
Yeah, Ray's cool. Shout out to Ray. She needs to come on here.
She
She's been
definitely
playing
does.
games with me.
I don't know.
you know what? You know what? I might get her.
Yo, tell her to.
I'm gonna get her here.
Right, I text her. I'm like,
awesome. We passed the trial. We did
yeah,
it.
I'm like, yo,
did it.
Ray needs to hurry up and quit playing games with
Yeah,
me. Why have you
but-
been doing this?
Hey, but shout out to Ray for
Yeah.
sure. Like that's my dog.
She's
That's-
good people. She's good
that's-
people.
That's my best.
I was
friend.
glad I met you guys when I did. 'Cause I
Yeah,
was like,
we oddly met too. It
so
was, like,
crazy.
crazy thing. We were shooting a video. We didn't even plan the way that the frequency rollout happened.
Yo.
It literally originally came from Ray wanting to do this video in her bedroom.
Okay.
And then it turned into, well, we want to go on a hike. Let's go on a hike. Okay, let's film the hike. Okay, let's do that. Okay, well, I want to have a women's brunch. Bet, let's have a women's brunch. And then it just turned into this monster. And it was like, yo, this is for real. Like,
That's beautiful.
this became a whole like movement all of a sudden. So definitely shout out to Ray.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot the question that I was being asked.
That's okay.
No,
Poetry.
Okay, we're back.
That's where
We're
we're
back.
at. We're back.
we had a moment with Ray.
Yeah. I found myself in a room with Ray and a couple other creatives. Producer played a beat. She sang to it, and I was like, you know what? I haven't written in a long time, so I'm gonna write this down. And she like laid down her part, and then I was like, I think I got something. And they were like, what? Wait, hold on. Whoa, what's happening? And I like read it out loud, and they were like, so Mike, just, you're putting that on here, right? And I was like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
This is happening. So it's kind of like okay, people like this? Like,
Right.
Again, purpose of finding answers to life. Like,
Just doing different things.
Right.
just finding yourself in
Trying
rooms
things out.
and put yourself out there. It's with great risk comes great reward.
So you're essentially saying that's like your profession. Putting yourself out there is
Oh, yeah.
what you do. For
Oh,
a
yeah.
life. Yeah. Okay. That's really
yeah.
cool. That's honestly a rare skill to apply to every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Like some people we put ourselves out there for the podcast,
Definitely,
sure,
yeah.
but I wouldn't say we do that with every single aspect of our life. So that's
Yeah.
pretty admirable.
Yeah.
I try my hardest
I believe
because
it.
you can't always do everything right. I don't always do everything right. I fail a lot.
Right.
But
I feel like those failures are important though.
they are. They've been very essential to my growth.
Right.
Very, very essential to my growth. Me as a person, me as a partner,
Right.
me as a woman, like all of these things. Again, I'm a very layered
Right.
and complex person. I've started to figure this out about myself.
Right.
And I feel like it's just important. I feel like, you know, every woman once in their lifetime should shave their hair off.
Right.
Just to see.
Once.
Just once. Just once. Just to see. And people always are like, wait, whoa, that's a little far, Nadiyah. And I'm like, no, but seriously, like, if I never shaved my head and went through that experience of like having to find beauty within myself and actually think I'm beautiful.
Right.
Without hair, without any of the extras, no wigs, no nothing, like really sit with myself in the mirror and look at it, I would be a completely different person. Like I would not have the perspective that I have now.
It was transformative.
Wow.
It is. It's very transformative. It's a journey that is worth taking. Is definitely.
I feel like
a journey
that's
worth
like a
taking.
spiritual journey because you kind of have to find it within yourself. Like I'm beautiful even without this, and you just
Yeah. If you got a weird shaped head, you got a weird shaped head. Rock that.
That's right. If you've got a weird shaped head,
Rock it.
give me a call.
It's
I have a weird
We can have a
ass.
conversation.
My locks are no, I was just looking at pictures the other day of me without my hair. I was like, why would I
ever do
why didn't
this?
anyone tell me?
Why would I ever do this?
Why didn't
But you
I-
gotta do it so that you know that about yourself.
Yeah, I don't
He's like, nah, I've already
bro.
been there. I've done it. I've
been
done
there,
it.
done that. I'm past it.
What were some? So you've experienced a lot essentially, and you
Yes.
make that a point to experience a lot. What are
Right.
some of the struggles or experiences that you've said, "Fuck that. That's not. No, I don't like that at all." Or some of the things that prevent you from having the experiences you want. Stuff like that.
You know, I find myself, I care a lot. I care a lot. And it can be something that can really be, if I don't channel that energy the correct way,
Right.
it could be something that's very, very detrimental to me. Like
Okay.
very much so. It will cut me off. I will go into a depressive low.
Wow.
Like it gets bad. So, you know, there was a period of time in my life that I went through like a really, really abusive relationship. And it was 4 years long. I was engaged, and people were like, whoa,
Wow.
wait a minute. You were engaged? You did this? You
4
did that?
years.
Like it took me on like this crazy wild journey. Like within that 4 years of being in that relationship, I ended up living in Georgia, moving away from my family, like 3,000 miles away. Like it literally
good.
pulled me completely out of like what was comfortable for me.
Your life.
And I had to figure out how to do life over again. Like that was such a like monumental moment. Like when people say like, I've really been through some shit. Like, no, I've really been through some shit. Like, and you know, getting out of that relationship and saying like, no, I won't take this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It will literally kill me. Like, I just can't. And walking away, learning how to walk away was one of my biggest lessons, because now that I've learned that I can walk away from that, I can walk away from anything.
Right.
Oh, I could do it all. Like
you kind of get a sense, like your self-respect. You're like,
Yeah.
this is my line.
Right.
yeah. So it's like when you have somebody test you, and somebody that you think loves you,
Oh,
and
right.
and,
Okay.
and you think like is really there for you and really wants what's best for you, and then you find out that's not true. Like that's heartbreaking. That's
Literally
that's gut wrenching. It's heartbreaking. So going through that experience and experiencing that type of heartbreak, that was a real struggle, because it takes you a long time to heal from that. Like you're unpacking, and I'm still unpacking, you know, 4 years of shit. Like fuck.
Right.
Like not to say that there wasn't good times, not to say that the bad times weren't bad, but you know, the good comes with the bad.
Right.
Bad
Yeah,
comes
that's
with the
true.
good.
Highs and lows.
And you have to figure out that nothing is as bad or as good as it seems in the moment that you're in.
Of course.
So I had to take that and really sit with it. My dad used to tell me, you know, Nadiyah, be selfish with yourself. if you aren't selfish with you, no one else is going to be. You have to be selfish for you. You have to do the things that.
That's good advice too.
And it took me until I was 22. Now I'm 25, but it took me until I was 22 to really understand a message I was given when I was 5.
Yeah. Parents will do that too. They'll tell you, you don't know, you're a child. And then, but as you get older, you remember what like your parents have said. You're like, wow, they knew what they were talking about. But I think you can't grasp it at that young of age.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, you know, when teachers or like your parents tell you, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, as a kid, you're like, who the fuck else can I be? Like, what does that
being
mean?
myself every day.
Every day, like I'm only me. And as an adult, you are given so many bad opinions, so much bad advice, so much good advice. You go through life and you experience things and it changes you. But I found myself more often talking to my 9-year-old self.
Wow.
And healing my 9-year-old self and making sure that 9-year-old me, 9-year-old Nadiyah is very proud of 25-year-old Nadiyah.
Wow, that's dope, actually.
So
I think we're all still trying to.
Wow, I never actually thought of that. Talking to like your younger self, making them proud.
And just making sure that I don't ever want to say like, oh, I'm trying to be the best me that I can be.
Right.
Because then there's a limit. Like you give yourself a cap. But if I can be better than what I was yesterday, tomorrow,
that's progress. Literally.
That's progress.
And it's like, oh, bing.
Right.
That makes sense. It makes so much sense. And I feel like people try to tackle like a whole year in 5 minutes. And it's like, no. 10 seconds. Live in your current 10 seconds. Live life 10 seconds at a time. You will be okay.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
How has being a gay Black woman had an effect on you? How does that play into your character? You
know what? I often feel like I'm a very invisible lesbian.
Really?
Oh, I know.
Very, very invisible lesbian. Because I'm not.
I can kind of see that, actually.
I'm not what people would typically think of like a lesbian. Like you wouldn't walk up to me on the street and think I'm gay. Like, it's such a weird phenomenon. Like, it's like I literally have to come out to somebody every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's like, this is exhausting. Straight people do not need to do this.
Guys keep approaching you and oh my God.
Guys are persistent. You guys are persistent,
that is
man.
True.
You guys are persistent. And it's like, I get it. Like I 100% get it because being a gay female, like we also have the problem of like, okay, I don't know if that girl's straight or not.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if she's bi.
It's just reversed.
It's just reversed. And it's like, okay, but women also have a very different approach. Like, we're not as aggressive. Like, we'll test the waters before. Like, we'll go have a conversation, like, ask, like, fact-finding questions. Right. And then we'll proceed from there. Like, it's like, okay, cool. Right. But, like, the aggressiveness of men, it's like, whoa, okay.
Testosterone.
It's just kind of, like, ignorant, too, right? Like,
we're just programmed differently. Like, it's kind of when we were talking about that toxic masculinity episode, and I was like, I think men and women are equal, but we're definitely not the same. Yeah. Like, we don't do the same things. We're not.
That's true. But we've disagreed on this topic. Yeah. I also feel like I'm not like I'm not an asshole. Not that you are.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing to me how some men lack complete and utter awareness of how uncomfortable they make somebody.
Yeah.
And that's generally not as true with women.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I agree with you, Bryson.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once I'm such a nice person.
Yeah.
I feel like once I get past the like they always like, hey, like the other day I got out of the gas station, paid for gas, walked to the car. Guy is like coming past me. He's like, "You're too pretty to be pumping your own gas," and I'm like,
"Uh-oh."
Is that charming? Is that like an interesting thing to say?
It's like, okay,
that's
sure, but my girlfriend's literally sitting in my passenger seat.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't, it's like, I don't mind doing things for myself. Like, I can do things myself. I'm not crippled. Like I'm not like a damsel in distress. Like, who does that appeal to? Like, does that work for you, sir? And it's like, okay, that's cool. But in like conversations where I'm like kind of in like a closed space and like can't easily get away by like ignoring you, after I get past the, well, hi, how are you doing? And like actually get into a real conversation, people are like, oh, okay. Like, then it becomes like a level of respect. But, you know, there is those guys that are just persistent as hell and can't get a grip. And I'm like, yo, I'm gay.
What's the reaction then?
I'm gay. It's always one of two things. It's always, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to. Or it's the ignorant, but we could be friends. You need friends.
Oh, no.
Or, oh, well, fuck you too then, bitch. Like, it's like, it goes from like one.
You see Javin's face?
Yes. It goes from like one space
That's
to another.
funny.
And it's like, they're wildly different. They're wildly different. The reactions that I get on a daily basis, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So I've been like,
That's interesting.
chased in the mall, like, hey, ma,
serious?
hey, shorty.
That's not okay.
What is happening?
What is happening?
What is
It's
happening?
like living in a fucking Twilight. For me, from my perspective,
Yes,
that's
no,
like
it
crazy
does,
shit.
It does feel like that, but you know, I feel like I know for a very, very good fact, I am not the only woman that goes through that on the daily basis. Like waking up and walking out my front door sometimes is like, okay, do I have enough clothes on? Okay, am I too covered up? Like, what's happening? Like, and you're like sitting there talking to yourself about looking presentable or not looking as seen
Just to prevent
in public,
yourself.
like to prevent it. And it's like, why?
That's
Why?
fucked up.
I'm the person that thinks I should be able to walk out my front door butt ass naked and nobody care.
Right.
Nobody care. Nobody take a second look. Just think that I'm crazy. Just think that I'm this
Right.
crazy person walking down the street
They
with
could
no
even
clothes on.
they could even appreciate it, but not to the extent to where you feel like you have to have to protect yourself from being violated. That's
Absolutely.
an insane reality, and that
Absolutely.
should just not happen.
Yeah, and I think that's a very like common reality for women. I think that, you know, women go through parts of their life like really like, yo, I really have to think about what I wear and what I say, especially what I say.
Right.
Oh man, watching your words as a woman, especially like knowing you're confronting a man. Like,
Right.
I know you're bigger than me. I know that physically you have to be stronger than me. Unless you like some short, skimpy, bimpy little whatever. But like, still, like you have no idea what's gonna come out of this person. So I have to expect the unexpected.
Right.
And I don't think guys really like walk around with that fear. Like they don't have, and it is a genuine fear. Like it sometimes keeps people from coming out of the house.
No, that's true. I know that to be. I have sisters, so
Yeah.
I know how they act and how that is.
Yeah.
I love this dialogue, though. I can't wait to hear all this on your podcast. That's what I've been
Her
thinking. I'm like,
podcast.
I'm just gonna be watching all her episodes. I'm gonna be a fan.
Yeah.
Do you have, just aside, do you have a monitor? Like, do you have the thing that keeps it going after like 30 minutes?
Still in the works.
Still in the
Still
works.
in the works.
I just gotta, we just gotta find one that works. That's what
Yeah.
we've really been
Yeah.
trying. We found one and it didn't work, and that was agony.
Oh man.
Anyway, before we run out of time, was there anything in particular you wanted to kind of say, plug,
Any last
shout
words?
out?
Oh yeah, you could follow me on all social platforms. Well, Twitter and Instagram, because
We'll have that in the description.
yeah, no, don't nobody use Facebook like that. So I don't want you to know my personal life. Like, nah, it's
Got
cool.
you.
But you can follow me at Nadiyah. It's HIGHDIYAH. Like Nadiyah. You got it.
That's what's up.
But yeah, you can follow me on all platforms. I am just as nice in person. I promise. I don't bite
She is.
too hard unless I'm asked. You know,
She'll
kinda
bite
back
you
there.
if you ask.
Maybe
Nicely.
if you pay me, you pay me money, I will bite you. I
And you've
promise.
got good hygiene. That's important.
Yeah,
That's
no,
funny.
we not messing with the vid, man.
Oh
We're not
yeah,
messing
no.
with the vid.
Wear your mask and
Wear
clean
your
your hands.
Wear your mask, carry hand sanitizer.
All
If you
that.
feel sick, just
Everything.
don't
yeah,
go out.
wash your
ever.
ass, drink a couple cups of water, take some, echinacea, drink some tea, all that. Make sure you
Alrighty then.
take care of
That's
yourself.
beautiful. Did you have a question before?
Nah, we're good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Genuinely enjoyed this
Absolutely.
whole conversation. I
Absolutely.
wish we could go on longer. I hate this time restraint, but we got to work with what
See you guys next
Okay.
time.
See you guys.